Outlander approaching. Is that the savior?
Wanna come in, Savior?
Welcome to Chainscrape, Savior.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
By the Forge.
Petra?
Aloy, what are you doing here? About time there was something worth looking at in this dump.
It's nice to see you too.
And not a moment too soon. Come on. Damn brewery's the only thing I can count on in this place.
Yeah, I heard. Machines, work stoppage.
Oh, those are just the latest malfunctions. Chainscrape's always been a few tools short of a kit. And right there is the biggest tool of all.
Our land, not our problem. The bristlebacks are everybody's
Ulvund?
You've heard of him,
Yeah.
but he's a story best told over a cold beer.
Petra. I'm just passing through. I'm headed west.
Oh,
There's an embassy at Barren Light I need to make happen, and then I keep moving.
ah, of course. Bigger gears to grind. Well, Flamehair, good to see you. You've got to move on.
Petra.
But if you want a cold beer and a few laughs with an old friend, come find me at the brewery. Your choice.
Well, this Ulvund guy sounds like trouble. Maybe Petra could use some support. But first things first, I need to find that workbench and upgrade my bow.
I want another cup of... I am most certainly sober. Watch as I walk.
How am I supposed to work with a hammer in this?
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errant vanguardsman. I will move only when the captain
When
says...
I've cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have. Captain's orders.
So they're okay.
Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for you.
Well, I shall not be moving anywhere until the whistle has sounded. If it is not safe for them, then it is not safe for me.
Fine. I'll make sure the whistle gets blown, and then I'll be back.
Hear that? We're not leaving yet. Unpack the cart!
No. I'll be right back. Don't get comfortable.
As if that were possible here.
Petra mentioned Ulvund is supposed to be in charge around here. Guess I should talk to him to get the whistle blown.
Next thing I know, I'm running around naked with an apple in my mouth and an arrow sticking out of my ass cheek. You're mistaking me for...
This should be useful. Now I just need to get what he's moving.
We are on the same side here, Ulvund. The
I feel like I've seen you
threaten
before.
us
I'm
all.
terrible at remembering faces.
We all know it was the Carja who let the
What do you want, Ulvund? Some kind of payment My dear magistrate, you think I can be bought? If you want that whistle blown, all you have to do is have your soldiers remove the bristlebacks and sign the concession decree. Face it, what other choice do you have?
Hi.
Savior, what auspicious timing. Might we discuss a matter of importance to the Sundom?
We might. Later.
Very well. I shall be waiting.
So, the savior herself. Walloper of Derval, gutter of youth.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady warrior. Ulvund Freeholder, at your service. So, what could have dragged you away from the fine silks and wine of Meridian to this smudge of a settlement? Your saviorly attention must be needed elsewhere.
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Why, by the forge. Ah. Greater gears for greater matters. Guess that means you'll be moving on.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that need my saviorly attention.
Ah, the bristlebacks, of course. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy to take place. Well, best get to it, hey? And off you go.
Not so fast. You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble, ha! Born with a hammer in hand, I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The, burden of leadership forced me to set it aside. The Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Osseram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Osseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Osseram laborers of this land who do all the backbreaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right. Then just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
If Chainscrape is on Carja land, shouldn't a Carja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Osseram folk, of course. You think a Carja can head this whole venture? Ah! The magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. Loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Osseram.
I cleared out all the bristlebacks.
Oh, you did?
Now that you've recovered from your shock, time to blow the whistle.
Oh, there, not so fast. I'll have to send someone out to confirm the kills. Make sure the valley is safe again. It shouldn't take more than a day. Or two.
No. You blow the whistle now.
These are innocent Osram lives we're talking about here. Surely the delay...
Either you do it now, or I will.
Ah, I knew you could do it! Friends, gather round. The savior of Meridian has done it again.
What?
The bristlebacks are defeated. You.
What?
Sound the whistle. Chainscrape is open for business.
Terrific. Yay.
And Ulvund has agreed to personally pay every worker their lost wages.
Yeah!
That's more like it.
Yeah!
Woo!
Haha.
Yeah! Yeah!
Don't you have an embassy to get to?
Yeah, I guess I do. Well, the Chainscrape's back to work. Merchants should be open to trade. I should see if they have anything useful before I send Wadis off to Barrenlight. Better see what that Karja magistrate wanted. I bet he's in the town.
Armor is my trade.
Nora in the Daunt. Now I've seen it.
Brought out only the good stuff for you, Red. Seeing as you got that whistle blowing.
Hey, I've been waiting to get my lucky hammer fixed for days.
You haven't done anything useful like getting rid of any bristlebacks, though, have you? Take your time. I promise you won't be disappointed. Come back anytime.
Now can I get this fixed?
I can fix your tools. Afraid there's no fixing you.
Outfits, armor.
Whoa!
I hope Corvin and the others are doing better than I am.
What happened to you?
That damn mine is what happened to me. It won't be the last injury if Ulvund keeps shoving those tongs into those tunnels.
What mine?
Northeast of Chainscrape, where the river ends. I told Corvin we should stop when the first cave-in happened, but Ulvund probably threatened to cut off our pay. Or worse.
How about you slow down and take me through it? You mentioned you were injured in a cave-in.
Yeah, a couple days ago. That's how I hurt this blasted leg. Corvin and the others were opening a new vein while I was checking on an older one. As soon as their blast hit, the tunnel I was in collapsed. Might have dodged it if I wasn't running on barely a spark of sleep. We were pushing too hard and too fast.
And you're afraid Corvin and the others might not be as lucky if it happens again.
Mm-hmm. Hit the nail right on the head.
How come Ulvund's in charge? Don't these mines belong to the Karja?
Try telling Ulvund that. He brought in all the backing to get them open. Might as well own them. Fire and spit. You ask him. He owns us as well.
Who's Ulvund?
He's their foreman, and a damn good one. The kind that knows how to deal with management when it gets unreasonable. But Ulvund, his demands go beyond unreasonable. Corvin's been doing his best to appease him. He even blamed himself for my injury when it was Ulvund who ordered the extra shifts.
Sounds like a good guy.
That's why we all put up with the long hours and lousy conditions. But if the whole mine becomes unstable, I'd rather suffer Ulvund's wrath than die buried in rubble.
I could check in on your crew if I'm in the area.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe finally someone who will outdrink me, huh?
Red hair's on the stage.
Stealth, power, or protection. What will you choose?
So, do you spit in the fire? Brother! Good looking!
What am I gonna do?
Hey, Mildef. Mildef. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hole.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Ulvund didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvund's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvund discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals, not trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. More than ale.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly. But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Ulvund or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
What do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in a scrounger pile, if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildef. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Already got enough wild meat. Just need to pick some bitter leaf and grab a metal panel from a scrounger pile.
You look like someone in need.
To which the boar says,
Round! Round!
You heard the whistle. Time to go.
But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
I'm off to Barren Light, Wadis. Like Aloy said, Captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Silence. Hades. Maybe even a guy in backup. Guess I could head straight for Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt some more first. And maybe take Petra up on that drink.
Hey, I thought you'd left by now. Bit busy now, but we'll talk soon.
I'm sorry, I'll be right with you.
Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it's overkill.
It's a weapon. Kill is the point.
Not if it blows the user's arm off. Oh, just stop talking.
Where are we? Ah! So, you look like someone who's always searching for a new weapon. Am I right?
Actually,
But you're just nuts. I am with a customer.
I'm not a customer.
I got it. Triple the powder. It'll blow a Strider sky high. Ba-boom. One shot kill. Guaranteed.
Maybe I am.
Then you are in the right place at the right time, Red.
How would you like to be the proud owner of the world's first machine-enhanced,
Explosive, done in one, machine wrecking.
Yet perfectly safe, javelin thrower?
Are you two from around here?
Nah, the claim. Dad sent us out west in search of some unknown opportunity. Said we'll know it when we see it.
Sounds like you had other ideas.
Let's just say that opening another trading post for my parents isn't how I want to make my mark in this world. I imagine traveling alone must be nice.
So she's your partner?
My apprentice and my sister. She's why we're out here. There was an incident. Another incident.
Involving explosives?
Ba-boom!
And Dad's precious homebrew. He shipped us out the next day.
Huh. Tell me more about this weapon of yours.
Saw a scroll when I was a kid by some Karja scholar who wandered out west. Had a scary drawing of a Tenakth warrior hunting with a kind of javelin thrower. Effective? Yes. Basic? Undoubtedly. But coming out here made me remember it. And I am on the brink of vastly improving the tool's archaic design.
Whereas I will perfect it.
I can use machine parts to enhance the user's throw, increase the projectile's velocity. Well, Boomer here is adamant that enhancing the projectile is better. Namely with explosive tips.
Boomsticks.
Why not both?
That could work. There's one small snag. I need the parts to make the first working model.
Well, for starters, I'll need charger horns. Intact.
Yeah, that. Just be sure to shoot them off before the machine goes down. Otherwise, they break. But the real innovation, and keep it to yourself, is a fang horn rib.
There's a mean one east of here. Blow it sky high.
Boomer! You get him for me. It's yours. My treat.
You have a deal.
Ulvund said no one could clear out the machines, but she did it.
I could get around faster if I find a charger to override. I can override one of these chargers. I have to go in quiet, so I don't spook the herd. To override machines and cauldrons. I wonder if there are any out here. Last part of the Sundom before the Forbidden West. Carja Horn. He's the embassy's point. I should find out who's in charge here. Might be worth taking a look around, too.
Savior, tell me, are you seeking passage into no man's land by any chance?
Maybe. Why do you ask?
Well, to hammer it plain, there's treasure out west. Unclaimed scrap and ancient metal. And I've got a sturdy band of salvagers that knows the lay of the land.
You're not afraid of the Tenakth?
Terrified. But I carry out most of my business in no man's land. Neutral territory and all that. Barren Light is our port of entry. When its doors aren't closed for an embassy. I was hoping your arrival meant they might be opening soon. I've got a business to run, after all.
I want that embassy to happen as much as you do. Believe me, I'm working on it.
Good to know. And keep us in mind. If you do manage to open the way, our main camp will be just past Barren Light. We'll buy any scrap you've got on you. And if you're looking for machine parts, we've got the best in the West, guaranteed.
All right. Maybe later then.
If you could get those blasted gates open.
Guess I'm not the only one who wants to get those gates open. There's Errand. It looks like he's had a few.
Lighten up, Paiv. You've got a thick wall of...
Are you in charge around here?
Ah, apologies, no. That would be Commander Nozar. I'm Lawan, his second in command. So, what brings Aloy of the Nora to Barren Light?
I'm here for the embassy. I need it to happen so I can head west. And maybe now that Studious Wadis is here, we can finally get things underway.
Yes, the Sun Priest. Walked in practically kicking and screaming behind his escort. Really seems to like his scrolls. But the embassy remains delayed. Commander Nozar has signaled our readiness, but the Tanakh marshals have yet to sound their horn.
All right, fine. Let me through the gates then. I have my own business with them.
I'm sure you do, but I'm afraid I can't. Commander's orders. Normally, the gates are open for any who dare to venture out. Asaram salvagers, a few especially brazen Karja, but no one's allowed in or out before an embassy. They'll reopen, once the Tanakh have left.
So what happens at these embassies, exactly?
Mostly trade and negotiation. The Karja offer tribute of food, spices, and gear. In exchange, the Tanakh return personal effects taken from Karja soldiers that fell during the Red Raids. This particular embassy, however, is a special case.
Special how?
The Tanakh are returning one of our own, a soldier by the name of Fashav. He's been their captive for 5 years. The exchange has got everyone on edge. You never know if an embassy's going to go well until it's practically over.
You said something about Tanakh marshals. Who are they?
They're the tribe's elite warriors. Before every embassy, they arrive with a contingent of soldiers from each of their 3 clans. Then, during the proceedings, they negotiate on behalf of their leader. And by negotiate, I mean stare down our Sun Priest until they concede. Paiv over here came face to face with them for the first time at the last embassy. Came back drenched in his own sweat.
It was hot that day, sir.
It was indeed.
Where is this Commander Nozar, then? If he's the one keeping the gates shut, I'll convince him to open them for me.
I'll take you to him, but I have to warn you. The commander isn't one to break protocol, especially when he's already high-strung.
We'll see about that.
This way.
There's a lot of activity going on around here.
The Tanakh tore down this place during the Red Raids. 2 years of labor, and we still have a long way to go. The work stoppage and chain scrape nearly halted our rebuilding efforts. But I hear a certain Nora got them back to work.
I was just helping out.
Yes, well, I'm sure Ulvund was thrilled.
Oh, hi! Same time, same place.
Stand aside, soldier.
Sir?
There's the commander. Better brace yourself. And good luck.
How are we to hold an embassy with a tribe that can't even govern their own people?
What more can you expect from barbarians? Ah. Aloy, was it?
Yes. The one who cleared the valley for you? That Aloy.
We appreciate your service. At least we are ready for the embassy to begin.
Didn't you just give the signal?
Both sides must signal readiness. Until the Tanakh sound their horn, we wait.
Yea, for as the first shall be...
Shut up. Why the delay?
The Tanakh are a tribe composed of 3 clans. How many banners do you see?
You're just gonna wait? Go find out what's wrong.
Oh, this isn't some forgotten corner of the East where you come from, Laura. It's the Forbidden West. If you don't like it, run back to Meridian, file a complaint.
The Meridian I saved, you mean?
That's right. Nobody walks to the gate until the 3rd clan arrives and the Tanakh's horn has sounded. Not even the savior of Meridian.
Well, thanks, but I've waited long enough. It's time to go.
Absolutely not. This embassy depends on diligent adherence to... You shall not!
Keep telling yourself that.
Someone approaching! On a machine!
Laurel. Open the gates, please.
Do not let her through that gate! That is a direct order!
Sorry, can't do it.
Sir, it's the Savior! I don't care if it's the devil in the queen herself. The gate is sealed, so that horn blows!
I'm asking nicely.
I don't know what to do.
Hey, Varl.
Hi, Aaron.
What's happening?
I know the usual. Aloy wants something. People try to
Open
stand in her way.
the
It's not gonna work.
gates.
That's it! Arrest her!
I'd like to see you try.
Supporting fire?
Yeah, I'm locked and loaded.
Hey, nose off! You stupid bastard. You think you got the authority to keep that door shut in the savior of Meridian's face? What do you think Sun King Avad is gonna do when he hears what you did? Promote you, huh? Let her through, boys. Saving the world. Forget something back in Meridian?
Look, Varl.
It doesn't matter. Made it just in time.
So this tribe that Murad told us about, the Tanakh, we need their permission to go west?
Yeah, well, I figured it'd be nice if they weren't trying to kill me the whole time.
But this embassy hasn't started yet. We're just gonna barge in?
It's no more politics. No more delays.
Oh well. Now at least you have some backup.
I guess I do. We'll see how it goes.
That is the line between East and West. Cross it and die.
Hold on now. Let's take it easy.
None may walk this valley until our signal sounds. That was our accord with the Karja.
I'm not Karja. I came here on my own to ask for rite of passage.
But they opened the gate for you, did they not? What is the meaning of this violation?
Why send a child? Do they want to parley or not?
The Karja can't be trusted. This is known.
Forget the Karja. This has nothing to do with them. I need to go west to save lives. Maybe even yours.
The only lives you can save are your own. By turning back. Now.
Hold! She's telling the truth about one thing. She's not Karja. She's a Nora from the Savage East. And if she seeks to save lives, should we not listen? Let me speak to her. One last favor for a fellow marshal before he's taken away. A fearless, red-headed Nora. You must be the so-called savior of Meridian.
Just Aloy.
I am unyielding Fashav. Once of the Karja High Command, last of the army of the setting sun. You'll have to forgive my comrades. Tensions are high. This embassy is a delicate affair. They're about to return me to the Sundom, a gesture that might help soothe painful grievances. And now you arrive, unheralded.
I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to go west.
So you say. I might be able to help, but I need to know why. Along with some assurance that I won't regret it.
How did you come to be among the Tenakth?
It's quite a story, but not a quick one. Though I suppose neither of us is going anywhere before the embassy begins. Are you sure you want to hear it?
I guess we have time.
Very well. I marched with Sun King Jiran's raiders when they came west, hoping to moderate their worst impulses. I failed, of course. They committed unspeakable atrocities, stirring the Tenakth into action. When the clans overran our forward encampment at Cinnabar Sands, I stayed behind to help the last stragglers evacuate, and was taken prisoner. I didn't make it easy for my captors, mind you. And they paid me back in kind on the journey to their capital. I lost so much blood on the way that I was white as a corpse when they threw me before Chief Hekaro. I thought I was dead for sure, so I resorted to desperate measures.
So when you met the Tenakth chief, you did something desperate?
I'd kept my ears open as the Tenakth dragged me along, and I heard mutterings about a kind of trial by combat that they revere. So, when they flung me at Hekaro's feet, I demanded this right, called the Kulrut, thinking that by winning I could request a boon, my life or even my freedom. The other Tenakth howled, but Hekaro stared them down, and then his gaze fell upon me. Evidently, he appreciated my ingenuity. He allowed me to participate in the Kulrut. Little did I know what I was in for.
You said the Kulrut is a Tenakth trial by combat.
Yes, but it is no ordinary trial. It doesn't pit men against each other, at least not directly. Instead, the combatants fight machines in a great arena, and only the strongest survive. Believe me, it is no easy thing to stare down a charging machine while hundreds around you scream for blood.
I know more about that than you might think.
Do you? Well, then you have my respect. Like you, I lived through it to claim my prize. I had hopes for freedom, but well, that wasn't on offer. Only service to the chief.
You wound up serving the Tenakth chief.
The winners of the Kulrut must serve the chief as his marshals.
You mentioned that word before. What does it mean?
The word itself refers to a kind of protective spirit from the ancient past. In practice, marshals are Hekaro's roving lawgivers, part magistrate, part judge, part executioner. I won my place among their ranks and served as honor demanded, but many Tenakth still spat on the ground when I walked by. But they did, until I started forcing them to the ground to grind their faces in it.
I guess that's one way to deal with it.
As you may have noticed, violence is the native tongue of the Tenakth. To survive, one must master it. The truth is, though, the Karja speak it too. More than they should. I can't blame the Tenakth for hating them.
So then, are you still Karja?
Part of me, yes. Always. Yet there is much to admire about the Tenakth. Especially their chief. I've heard stories about what it was like before his reign. 3 clans always at war, constantly slitting each other's throats. Hekaro and the marshals have crafted a delicate peace. And now he looks to the future. Who knows? Maybe that future will include cooperation with the Karja.
The Karja talk about Hikaru as if he's a monster.
The Karja feel compelled to demonize him if only because he swept them from the field. It is true that he is fearsome. When I was first taken before him, I thought he would flay me alive. But he is no bloodthirsty tyrant like the Mad Sun King was. I think that if you were fortunate enough to meet him, as I was, you would find that he only wants the best for his people. I hope you do speak to him. I'm sure you'd interest him. So, that's my story. You're the first Easterner to hear it, but not the last. The Karja need to know what I have learned.
Yeah. The way you talk about the Tenakth is a lot different than how they do. I've never seen markings like those on a Karja before.
The Karja see ink as decoration. For the Tenakth, it is much more. A litany of deeds. A record of vanquished enemies.
Looks like you've vanquished quite a few.
I've fought my share of battles. But I feel that my life, like my markings, is only half complete. This side shows my martial deeds. Before I die, I'd like to see the other half marked with the laurels of peace.
Are you glad to be going back to Meridian?
Oh, I'll admit that I wouldn't mind sleeping in a feather bed or sipping wine from the southern vineyards. But I have another goal in mind. As someone who knows the Tenakth and the Karja, I'm in a unique position to advocate for both. If Sun King Avad is amenable, my hope is to establish a lasting peace.
The Tenakth don't seem that peaceful.
They're not, as a rule. But these are difficult times. Chief Hikaru knows that survival often requires change, even if that change means putting aside centuries of war.
You asked why I need rite of passage. I'll tell you, but you won't like my answer. 6 months ago, the world almost ended in Meridian. That threat still exists. It's getting worse every day, much worse. Calling down storms, poisoning the water, enraging the machines. The source of it all has gone west, and I'm the only one who can stop it.
I've seen the signs. And I've heard tales of incredible occurrences in Meridian, an army of demons vanquished by a red-haired champion. So I'm inclined to believe you. The burden of your task is written across your face clearer than any mark of mine. I'll grant you this, to serve as proof of your right to travel into Tenakth lands. A task so important, and it's just the two of you. Take it from one who aspires to be a diplomat. Allies are essential. Chief Hikaru knows the West better than anyone. He may be able to help you. He can be intimidating to others, but don't let that deceive you. He is a man of his word.
Maybe. If I need him.
Your choice. You can find him at his palace, past the mountains to the southwest. Tell him I sent you, and he'll listen to it.
Look! The Sky Clan's banner!
Marshals. It wasn't easy, but I brought the Sky Clan with me.
And the commander?
No. I could only convince a few. He isn't yet aware we left.
We have banners from all 3 clans. If there are fewer from the Sky Clan, it can't be helped.
He's right. Sound the horn.
What's going on?
Not all Tenakth can stomach the idea of parley with the Karja, but enough have come for us to begin.
Then I'll be on my way.
No, the other marshals will not permit it. You wanted safe passage, you have it. After the embassy.
Karja have opened the gates.
As the sun rises over a land at war, so too can it set over a land at peace. Today is such...
Hear me, marshals! You who claim to be Tanakh!
Regala. Chief Hikaro's biggest mistake. A rival whom he should have killed.
You have forgotten that our people were born in blood. The blood of the Karja. Instead, you pledge your spears to a chief who conspires with the enemy. Hikaro has betrayed us! The embassy is proof! And all of you marshals are his accomplices! For this, I condemn you to death!
You'll need more than toothless threats to intimidate us. Exile.
Lancers! Form up!
They're riding machines! Where'd they learn to do that?
Silence.
Vashav! Come with us now, or not at all!
Archers! Light them up!
Get to cover!
Archers! Keep them back! Left flank! To the Karja! Run them down!
They're not gonna make it.
Open the gates! Open the gates! Open the gates! Karja! Stand your ground!
Fire at will!
I don't have a shot!
What happened? Can you see?
It's just us now.
Hey! Calm down and fight fair!
Lancers! Take the center!
Get ready!
Stick to cover! Archers on the ridge! Raise the alarm! We go now!
Okay.
We will not bow to the Outlanders! Oh no! You'll suffer for that! That way, you think?
Another one down! We can win this!
Just you and me now, Carl.
We've survived worse!
I have that Easterner! You're going! Oh no! Now!
Take this ammo!
I'll take this one! I'll get us on range! Advance! Firing!
Enough! You, Outlanders! I'll skin you both! Chief, grant me the honor of this challenge.
Granted.
next, girl?
I've never seen a shield like that. Better scan it. I can break through a shield if I damage it enough. Gotta get through that shield.
Fighting
Huh?
a child!
I can break his guard. There! Now's my chance!
That won't stop me!
Give it up! His shield's regenerated. Ah! Oh, relief. Gotta take down that shield. Shield's gone. He's vulnerable. You're not stopping me! Your turn! Come down here and face me!
No! It was an honorable challenge. You've earned your life today. Comrades! Mark this day! Today you have decimated the Marshals! Slaughtered the Karja! So begins our war on Hikaru. Move out!
Get him to the camp. Now.
You gonna make it?
You're going on without me, aren't you? Guess I'm stuck with Aaron. For now.
Come on. I'll take you back to the fort.
I got you.
It's salvage time, boys.
I don't think it can take a hit. I should be able to use it to glide.
Aloy. We're still trying to sort out this mess. Seems like the Tenakth have a civil war in their hands.
That sounds about right. The marshals weren't expecting Regala to attack.
And the entire Karja delegation was slain. Nozar, Voidis, Fashav. A massacre. What will you do now?
I have to head west. Hopefully this rite of passage is still good. For what I'm after, I'll cross all of Tenakth territory if I have to.
Then you have a long road ahead of you. This is only the threshold of the Forbidden West. The Tenakth's true domain lies over the mountains that border Plainsong, home of the Utaru tribe.
This isn't Tenakth territory?
All that out there? That's no man's land. It was supposed to be neutral ground, though obviously this Regala ignored that. Her rebels approached from the north, with all those machines they were riding. They must have made camp up that way.
The rebels were riding bristlebacks. And there were bristlebacks in the Daunt.
Are you saying the rebels let them into the Daunt? How would that even be possible?
I don't know. But it's worth looking into.
While you're at it, there were a number of Karja and Oseram who went out there before the gates were shut for the embassy. Maybe you could check in on them. See if they're all right.
I can keep an eye out. Is there a tall neck somewhere nearby?
A tall neck? There's that one, over there, near the Utaru border. But why?
It's hard to explain. It'll help me get the lay of the land.
If you say so. Is there anything else I can tell you before you go?
Fashav called Regala a rival. Someone that Tenakth chief should have killed.
Yeah, I reckon he should have. She's obviously a huge threat. Her attack was coordinated and precise. Until you got in her way, that is.
They knew the lay of the land. And they knew Fashav was going to be handed over at the embassy. If the Tenakth weren't expecting her, she must have spent months gathering an army in secret.
They had to have made camp nearby. Somewhere they could lie low until the perfect moment to strike.
About Fashav.
The man was taken captive by the Tenakth. Survived for years out in the west, only to die just short of the Sundom. It's a cruel end for a good soldier.
There was more he wanted to do. He spoke of advocating for lasting peace between the Karja and Tenakth.
Too late for that now.
What will happen to him?
His body will be carried back to Meridian. As a cousin of the Sun King, he will be accorded official rights and buried with honor. No soldier could ask for more.
It's too bad about Nozar and Voidis.
At least Nozar went down fighting. As for the Sun Priest, well, no one deserves to go out that way. I'll make sure they're given proper funeral rites. It's the least I can do.
You said the Tenakth lands are far to the west. What can I expect to find between here and there?
Well, as I mentioned, you've got a stretch of wilderness known as No Man's Land, and then New Utaru farmlands. Past that are the Tenakth. Their territory is split into 3 clans: Desert, Lowland, and Sky.
Right. I saw their banners at the embassy.
The Desert clan is closest. Ooh, vicious lot. Where everyone else sees an inhospitable wasteland, they see a challenge to dominate. Somewhere beyond the desert is the tribe's capital and the territories of the other 2 clans.
You don't sound certain.
I've only heard the stories. During the Red Raids, the Karja army tried to push into Tenakth territory, but the United Clans rose up against them, forced them all the way back to the Daunt.
So no one except the Tenakth really know what's beyond the desert.
Maybe the scholars do, back in Meridian. All those scrolls have to be filled with something, right?
You mentioned the Utaru tribe. Their lands are between here and the Tenakth further west?
That's right. Plainsong is their home. They're a peaceful bunch, at least compared to the Tenakth. More taken to farming than fighting.
It's hard to imagine a bunch of farmers surviving in the Forbidden West.
Make no mistake, they have a fierceness all their own. When the Karja were pushed back during the Red Raids, their warriors chased ours through the burning fields of Plainsong. The Sun King has made several overtures of peace to them as well, but so far, they've declined.
If they're so peaceful, why decline?
Don't know. I heard they have their own troubles to deal with. Something about a food shortage. You'd think that'd make them open to trade, but no. They just want to be left alone.
You said there were others who went out when the gates were open before. Like who?
Well, in addition to the salvagers that just went through, there were a couple of other parties of Oseram delvers. Even saw 2 Karja scholars trekking southwest with an Oseram crew. Not sure if they're exceptionally brave or just foolhardy.
This area is no man's land.
That it is. The Tanakh used to attack anyone past Barren Light on sight, but after Avad overthrew the Mad Sun King, he reached out to the other tribes to offer reconciliation. The Tanakh agreed to a neutral border zone as part of the peace talks. Karja and Oseram have been striking out into the area ever since.
But now, it seems like Regala and her rebel army have moved in.
Well, I'd never call no man's land safe, even in the best of times. The ancient ruins of the Southwest are a testament to that. Remnants of some forgotten war.
Do you think the Karja will take action against Regala? Seems like you'd have common ground with the Tanakh.
An expedition of the Karja army into the west could be taken as the start of another invasion. Sun King Avad won't risk it. That said, we can't allow ourselves to be caught unaware by an attack like that again.
I'd need to be on my way.
Then I wish you luck. The gates will always be open to you should you wish to return. And don't worry about your friends. We'll get them patched up.
I appreciate it.
Sun watch over you, Aloy. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Well, don't have to worry about running out. So, this is the Forbidden West. A whole new frontier to explore. The coordinates from the spires should lead to Silence and Hades. And just maybe, a backup of Gaia. It won't be easy out there. The Blight, the Storms, Regala's machine riders. But I'll have to push through it all. Find a way to fix the world. Like Elizabeth would. The woman who led the ambush, Regala, had a lot of machines under her command. There's only one other person who has that kind of knowledge. Silence. But what's his angle? Why help to knock the rebels? Good spot to test the shield ring. If I climb down, then I can glide. stuff for the stash.